So once again, we're talking about Midwest Fantasy Wargame, the Primeval RPG character creation. Page 51 has a sample character sheet, but I have ginned up one in my notebook. And we're going to see just how quickly we can knock this out. Yes, name we'll take care of later. Class is going to be determined by how we roll here. Level, etc. So we're going to start with rolling the key attributes: brains, guts, health, looks, sex, and miscellaneous. And that's done by rolling d6. And you could use the online source. Wonder if I could get these on camera by just moving them over. Let's see what we can do. Yay! So first attribute is going to be a 7 for brains, a 9 for guts, that's above average, I think, an 8 for health, 12 for looks, an 8 for sex, and a 5 for miscellaneous, which is like telepathy, instinct, luck, etc. So optionally, there are these secondary attributes that are gated by the key attributes. So we're going to roll those now, and I need 3 sets of dice to do that. Those are leadership, strength, and loyalty. Okay, so there's that 2, and that 2. So 7, 6, and 5. 7 for leadership, 6 for strength, and 5 for loyalty. So leadership gets tied to one of the prime attributes. And the prime attributes are brains, guts, and health. So these are primes. In this case, 7 is below or equal to all of them, so it doesn't matter which one it's gated to, but it's probably going to be tied to guts. So I'm just going to put guts here in parentheses as the source of his leadership, just in case leadership goes up. There are very few mechanisms for increases in any of these attributes or skills other than a wish spell, but wishes were more prevalent in the oldest rules that I've been able to find in First Fantasy campaign. Strength 6, again, that is gated by health, which is 8 in this case. So that's A-okay. And then loyalty 5 is gated by guts. And in this case, I've got 9 in guts, so fine, that's 5 is fine. It's less than or equal to guts. All right, let's look down here to the skills: woodcraft, horsemanship, flying, sailing, throwing. And the average of these cannot exceed the miscellaneous score. Miscellaneous in this case. So yesterday's character was very blessed here in that character had a high miscellaneous score. In this case, got a low miscellaneous score. So the average is going to be 5. So let's go ahead and roll these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skills. So more dice here. Let's get these out of the way. Try to keep them on the table. And the way I pair these up is just from top to bottom, right? Okay. So 6, 10, 6, 10, 6, 7, 10. These are all tremendous scores, but unfortunately the average is going to be well in excess of 5. So what you could think about this as is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 5. So as if I had 25 build points to distribute here. So I think since I rolled all of these in excess of 5, the easiest way to, and fairest way to do this is just to make all of them 5, instead of trying to build these out individually. So this guy is not very blessed at all. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. If I would have had that miscellaneous score of 11 like I had yesterday, would have been much better. I wouldn't have been able to probably keep those rolls. Because what is the average of this? So 10, 20, 33, 33, and 6, 39 divided by 5, that's going to be like an 8 on average between 7 and 8. So it would have been just fine to have these rolls as written. Moving on, so age is going to be 3d6 plus 14 if I'm recalling correctly. In this case, he's very young, so 5 plus 14 is going to be 19. So that means that his starting gold is going to be just 3d6 times 10. If he was older and wiser, he potentially could double or triple his starting gold. In this case, for starting gold, I roll a 8. So that's going to be 80. Got 0 for silver, 0 for copper. Magic points. Is this guy going to be a magic user? No, his guts are the highest attribute. So he's going to be I think he's going to be a cleric. Guts are the prime requisite of clerics, if I'm recalling correctly. So we're going to call this guy a cleric. He's level 1. I think that's going to be acolyte as usual. I'll have to go check this. Acolyte, spell it correctly, Lyte. His starting experience points are going to be 0. He gets no magic points. He has a saving throw of 7. That's the default for this system. Movement, combat movement, and encumbrance we'll take care of in a minute. And then for his interest, we're going to do system 3, which is simply percentile dice down the line. So let me get my percentile dice. Black comes before red. These are 20-siders that have 0 to 9 twice over. So B, black comes before red, and we're just going to roll these down. 36 for intoxication. 44 for carnality. 27 for festivity. 93 for wealth. 37 for fame. 40 for piety. And 57 for hobby. So he or she is going to be very interested in wealth and his hobby, she's hobby, let's just call it a he, his hobbies, and then lastly carnality, and I guess his interest in his sex appeal and his or her looks kind of factors into that carnality. But the hobby, it'll be interesting to see what hobby a cleric would have, since piety is not extraordinarily high. We've got to roll our weapon proficiencies. We're going to cheat by using Discord to do that. We'll get that done in a minute. So yes, a cleric, guts are the prime requisite. So we're going to write down that this is the prime requisite for him or her. Him, let's call it a him. Let's just call this, I've already got a cleric named Colby Gladwin in another system, an OD&D character. And we're just going to do the same thing here. Colby Gladwin, he's a cleric. Let's flip here to the cleric side. Clerics are a subclass of warrior. Basically, think about them as a, so acolyte is the ecclesiastical title. He is from the church militant. He's a member of a military order, a religious military order. So he's an initiate, not an acolyte. Initiate. Initiate. If he was an NPC, he would be an acolyte. Saving throw versus magic. So I can put this in the saving throw area. 12 versus magic. It's a special save for the clerical class that eventually at patriarch level makes them be able to make magic saves. For the spells that have a magical save to them, saves can go up to automatic. The cleric has numerous built-in skills. We're not going to deal with that real quick. we're going to get through this character creation hits to kill. There is no modifier for hits to kill. It's just straight up d6 roll for Cleric. So it's going to be 2, basically hit points, hits to kill, as it was originally called. Magic points. I put that in there twice. That doesn't need to be there. Alignment. So we're going to start this dude out as lawful because there is no anti-cleric class in Midwest Fantasy Wargame. There is in Dragons Beyond, but at this point in 1972, it seemed like we're leaning into the sword and sorcery thing, and so if there was a magic user that's chaotic and styled his or herself as like a cult leader, or that would be the equivalent of an evil high priest or a chaotic cleric. All right, cleric, a human warrior that belongs to a religious order of knighthood. So by default, this is a human, so we don't have to deal with any of the semi-human attributes. And semi-human is in this book because somewhere I came across a very early reference to the Blackmore Bunch and the use of the word semi-human instead of demi-human. So I just kept that as something more flavorful and distinctive in this rule set. All right, racial skills, so we've got nothing here. Class skills we will fill out later. Circumstances of death happens when you die. Weapon proficiencies. We've got 26 weapon proficiencies, and we're going to use Discord now. Let's hope I get some better rolls this time. Wow, we got lots of great options here. And the Cleric in Midwest Fantasy Wargame doesn't get turned undead and doesn't have the restrictions on blunt weapons. So let's take a look down here. So we're pretty good in the club, pretty good in the dagger. Battle, very respectable scores, quite a lot actually. Sling 10. Composite bow 12, short bow 11, javelin 10. I mean, heck, this guy has plenty to work with. So we're going to give Colby here, we're just going to write down his melee weapons on this side. Club, dagger. So club, he's got a 10. Dagger, he's got a 12. And there are rules here for dual wielding, and dagger with a shield gets 2 attacks. So that's pretty cool. Dagger might be his weapon of choice if he's in close. Warhammer, surprisingly, he got a 9, it looks like. So let's put Warhammer and Battle Axe are both 9. Yeah, I think Warhammer and Battle Axe we're going to put in here. So Warhammer, Battle Axe. And again, we're not saying these are the weapons he's carrying, but these are the weapons he prefers to carry. Certainly if he finds these or buys these. Let's do for ranged weapons now. So ranged weapons tend to be down here toward the bottom with the exception of the javelin. So javelin 10 is very respectable. And then short bow is an 11. Composite bow, even better. 12. And then sling. Very cheap option. Sling, 10. Okay, 52. We got to get this guy some armor and some weapons. Let's do armor first. And look at the prices here. So if I do full plate and a full helm and a shield, that's going to cost us 60. And that'll leave him 40 for weapons. How does that do for me? I'll go with the cheap options for weapons. And then miscellaneous gear will be what it is. So let's give him full plate. That cost 40. And the encumbrance on it, we'll get to encumbrance in a minute. Cost and then encumbrance in a minute. Full plate, full helm, $10. That protects his face. Shield. We're not distinguishing between. Well, we're going to give him the medium-sized metal shield. We're going to give him the medium-sized metal. So that's 10. Then we're doing weapons. So he is good with the club. And the club only costs 3. So that'll work. And then he's so dang good with the dagger. Let's give him a dagger. In case he wants to dual wield. And I think I need to make a note to myself to check the dual wielding rules here. Club might not be allowed, but I think I need to modify the rules here. And then ranged weapons, sling is cheap, and he's pretty dang good at it. So we're giving him a sling for, where's the sling? Sling for 2, stone bullets are free. And then composite bow, this is where it's going to cost him some money. But he's got a 12 in it, so he might as well. So we're going to give him a composite bow. That's going to cost him 40. Can I afford a 40? No, I can't. No composite bow. Sorry, dude. Sorry, my dude. No composite bow. How about a short bow? How much is that? 25? That's still pricey. I think he's going to be locked out of the bows for now. Yeah, we're not going to worry about carrying anything else. Okay. Let's give him a holy symbol, because there's still uses for that. Let's give him some holy water. So that's going to be 1 GP for a wooden one because we're cheaping out. Holy water, we're going to give him 2 for a vial. And let's give him a backpack. And that's going to be 1 to 2. So we're going to call that 2. And then what about the light sources? Let's give him some rations. So that's going to be 5. Let's give him some torches. 2. And then a wineskin. And maybe some rope. 15 SP. We're going to call it 2 to keep this moving. So equipment, 40, 50, 60, 68, 70, 73, 75, 80, 485. So 85 off his gold. He only had 80, so I got to get rid of 5. So should I get rid of the rations? Nope. We're going to get rid of the rope for 2, the torches for 2, and we're going to downgrade the backpack to a sack for 1, and that consumes all of his gold now, so he's completely poor. So dude has a holy symbol, holy water, sack, rations, wineskin, club, dagger, sling, shield, full. So he's fully equipped now, and we are 21 minutes into it. Writing down the class skills is the last thing you would do. All clerics add +1 to their teammates and some other stuff. But as you can see, doing a Midwest Fantasy Wargame character creation, it's a little bit more involved than you would think, but it's not terrible. It's not super crunchy, and now this dude is ready to roll.